So it looks like two people got their shit wrong this week. Complex and Michael Rubin. Let's get into it.
The STEM
Every time I
Society.
get up in the morning, I think about money. I'm not gonna even lie to you. I don't know about the rest of y'all. All I see is dollar signs. You feel me? What up, B King? What up, Dan? Stunt Dozer? What up, Uncle Snoop? Memphis, Houston, West Coast. Let's just focus on that paper. Fuck everything else. Fuck everything else. Get your money, man. Get your bucks up.
Welcome back to the STEM Society. My name is Cole Jackson. Episode 51. We are back and we are live. So look, man. If you guys, this week is going to be a little bit different. I'm not going to do any critiques on any albums that just dropped. I had to do a big move. I had to move to another spot in the UK. I'm still in the UK right now. But I wasn't able to guys sit down and listen to any new music, but I will most definitely change that when the next episode drops. So I'm just thankful to be able to get this episode out. So appreciate you guys. But let's get into the news. So this week, Complex dropped their 50 best Atlanta rappers of all time, and they ranked them. And you know what? The list was terrible. The way they ranked it, everything just sucked. Now, let me get into what the criteria was to determine the top 50 list. Here were the factors: skilled as a hip hop artist, strength in their catalog, and lasting influence and commercial impact in their music. Yeah, they really didn't. It really didn't hit for me. Now, I'm originally from the South. I'm from Birmingham, Alabama. So when it comes to Atlanta hip hop, I kind of know a little bit about it because I've been around it for a long time. And it just, for some strange reason, Complex continues to make these dumbass lists that don't make any sense at all. And now it's gotten to the point where they're just breaking it down by what? States or areas? It's ridiculous, bro. So if you haven't seen the list, they give a definition too. They said an Atlanta rapper, by our definition, is someone who came to create to creative life in the city and actively represents the ethos of the of Atlanta in their music. Basically saying if your name became famous in Atlanta, we don't put you on the list anyway. Which I guess some of it makes sense. If you guys haven't seen the list, by the way, I'll put it in the description to make sure you guys can click on it and kind of read through and kind of see what you think is the best way, if they did good or not. I really think the list is horrible. I think they did a terrible job. They could have figured something else out. So anytime they make lists like this, they never have the actual artist from whatever they're doing the list for in the room to make this stuff. So it's like how the criteria, I guess, makes sense, but like not having actual rappers from Atlanta in here to help make this list doesn't make sense to me at all. All of it just seems kind of stupid. We already know that these lists are here for engagement, to get people to get them riled up and go back and forth on social media. It's always been like that. Complex has been getting it wrong all year, and this is just another list that they fucked up yet again. There was some standouts here that I completely wasn't messing with. Childish Gambino at number 33 is crazy. I don't know why he doesn't get the credit that he deserves. He should be ranked higher. He has been a staple in hip hop for a while. I know his stuff is a lot more alternative, but him being at number 33, that's crazy. Another thing that I think they got wrong too, Pastor Troy at number 30, that's wrong. Look, if you know, like I know, especially from the South, he should be at least in the top 20. He represented Atlanta when the whole New Orleans scene was going down, when everybody was talking about bling bling and stuff like that, or they was from No Limit or whatever the case may be. Pastor Troy represented Atlanta through that whole situation, carried Atlanta on his back. So why would y'all put him at number 30? It just feels wrong. It feels bad. Soulja Boy number 28 feels too low also. Look, say what you want to say about Soulja. Say what you want to say about his rants. Say what you want to say about what he does now on social media. But he introduced the internet to hip hop. I'm sorry. He is a legend in his own right. You don't have somebody, you don't have the internet era without Soulja Boy. You don't have the ringtone era without Soulja Boy. Like, he just brought in a whole different way to do hip hop, and they completely just kind of threw him at number 28, and he has the catalog to prove it. Say what you want to, might not be the best catalog in the world, but Soulja Boy has a catalog. You got to give him some respect on that. I know I'm gonna get some flack for this, but I feel like Lotto at 25 just feels too high. Maybe at 30 because she's really, really new and she's just not getting started. She has 2 albums under her belt. Now I know she represents Atlanta and I know she's the hottest thing out right now, but putting her at number 25 just feels wrong and high. 30 seems like a pretty good place for her until she actually builds her catalog up a little bit more and actually gets a little bit more experience under her belt. Just like they had Gunna. Gunna at 20 feels way too high. I would think he would be more in the mid to lower 20s. I know he has a little bit of a catalog, but a lot of that stuff is just his mixtapes. So, and I like Gunna. I think Gunna's one of the better new artists out. But number 20, nah, bro. I'm sorry. I can't sit up here and say it's okay to have Gunna at number 20. It doesn't make any sense. Here's the thing that caused a lot of controversy. Now, if you haven't seen the clip, there was a clip of B. Dot on Angela Yee's radio show here this past week when the list dropped. Playboi Carti was at number 12. Here's what B. Dot said.
Then after that, we have Big Boy at 8, 2 Chainz at 9, Lil Baby at 10, 21 Savage at 11, and Playboi Carti at 12.
I can't get jiggy with that. Playboi Carti couldn't rap a GIF. Have you ever heard Playboi Carti's music?
Of course I have.
He raps in like Batman sound effects. He sucks.
You think Playboi Carti sucks?
Absolutely.
I wouldn't say that. You think he
terrible.
sucks?
Am I alone here? Okay.
Yeah, I don't think he sucks.
Nah, he's terrible.
But I don't know if I would have him as high as 12. And then Offset, Killer Mike.
So, I think Big Dot got a lot of hate from a lot of people who are, of course, Playboi Carti fans, because Playboi Carti has probably one of those rampant fan bases. And let me just say this. I don't really disagree with him on his spot. Playboi Carti was one of the, I guess, first people to actually usher in mumble rap. He was one of those people that actually was a part of that whole movement. Not saying it's good, not saying it's bad. I'm just saying him being a part of mumble rap and that whole little era, the whole little time that he came in, you kind of have to respect him. But number 12, Complex, I just feel like they're giving Playboi Carti way more credit than he deserves. Yes, he was one of the people to usher in mumble rap and come in with the other mumble rappers, and he's had longevity. But number 12, nigga, y'all tripping, cause like you can't just put this nigga at number 12. His catalog is not long enough. He's still new in the game. And you know what's funny? They put as one of the songs that's under his belt, they put Fiend, and he's like a feature. That's Travis Scott's song. He's just a feature on that song. The whole list is a mess as far as like what they're counting as people's songs and what they're doing. I'm gonna be real with y'all. I really feel like they're using features to kind of help cushion whatever artist they want to have on where they want to place them on the list, and that don't make the list good. It makes it stupid, and it kind of goes against your own criteria. It's just putting him at number 12 is wrong. He don't have enough music to back up. You know, one of the things that's on their criteria is a catalog. He ain't got no catalog. His catalog is, he don't have that much music out right now. We can barely get him to drop. Just saying, Complex, you might want to rethink their whole decision about this. Okay, so let me give you guys the top 5. This is what Complex said. These are the top 5 Atlanta rappers. Number 5, Jeezy. I can respect that. I can completely respect Jeezy being at number 5. Number 4, Gucci Mane. Yeah. Gucci Mane is one of those people that even though he's from Alabama. I'm just letting y'all know. But he did make his name famous in Atlanta, so I get it. I understand why they did that. But yeah, number 4 seems about right. Number 3, T.I. I'll get back to that. I'm going to get back to why T.I. at number 3 is not right, and I'll tell you why in a second. Number 2 is Future, which makes complete and total sense. Future is one of the biggest acts out of Atlanta. Number 1 ended up being Andre 3000. They gave Andre 3K the number 1 spot on the Complex list. And I'm going to be the first person to tell you guys, and you might think I'm crazy, they're wrong. Can't do it. I don't respect that. I don't respect that at one bit. Andre 3000 did not do all of this stuff by himself. He had been a part of a group for the longest time. I don't care what anybody says about The Love Below. That is an Outkast album. They won a Grammy for Album of the Year as Outkast with that album. He did not do that by himself. I'm sorry. He's not the number 1 rapper. There was a quote by Killer Mike. Killer Mike was saying, I don't respect any list that breaks up Big Boy and Andre. And I have to agree with him. You can't split them up because they did all of this stuff together. Is Andre 3000 a great rapper? Yes. He's one of the best I've heard in my life. Does he deserve to be the number 1 rapper on Complex Atlanta list? Hell no. There's no reason he should be number 1. They won those awards together. They sold those albums together. And I think Complex is doing this to kind of validate their hip hop card, which I think is complete bullshit. You can't sit up here and tell me he just didn't do it by himself. He doesn't have the catalog. He doesn't even have a catalog. His catalog is under Outkast. Not up under Andre 3000, not up under some solo stuff. He hasn't won an award as a solo artist. They're getting this shit wrong. That's why I don't like these lists, because it puts these arguments out here in the air where it's very divisive. There's a lot of people who feel like Andre 3000 is one of the best rappers ever, and I have to agree with that. But I also understand when it comes to ranking people, he doesn't have a solo catalog. He just doesn't have a solo catalog to do it. And for people who are sitting up here kind of looking at me sideways, that's the truth. Without all of that stuff he did with Outkast and with Big Boy, they did it as a group, as a team. They did it together. I think Big Boy ended up at like number 8 on the list, which I think is complete bullshit. If you're going to put Andre 3000 at number 1, then Big Boy should be at least number 2. If y'all going to split the group up and do it like that, which when you go through this list, this 50 greatest Atlanta rappers list, they split up a lot of people from a lot of different groups. And it doesn't even mention that in the criteria, which again tells me that they don't know what they're doing. They don't know how to make these lists, man. This shit is it's stupid. None of these motherfuckers know what they're talking about. If anything, I'm going to put it to you like this. And people are going to think I'm crazy. But I feel like it should have been T.I. at number 2. And I think Future probably should have been the number 1 rapper. Future's one of the biggest solo acts that's come out of Atlanta in a long time. You can look at his track record. You can look at his records, his album sales. You can look at his catalog. He has everything. He's still relevant. Future just put out 2 of the best albums that came out this year. We Don't Trust You. We Still Don't Trust You. They have the 2 of the hottest albums. He has 2 of the hottest albums out right now. So and he's a solo act. He ain't part of no group. He's a solo act. So why? I just feel like it's not unnecessary to love Andre 3000. I love Andre 3K. I think he's one of the best rappers. Again, one of the best rappers I've ever heard. He shouldn't be the number 1 Atlanta rapper. it just shouldn't. It shouldn't be. That's shitting on Big Boy, and that's shitting on what Big Boy has contributed to the group. When you do shit like that. And I think a lot of us, especially a lot of us hip hop heads, have been doing that for a very long time. We've shitted on Big Boy for a very long time when he's done just as much work and has just as much, he's just as good. His style has lasted the test of time. He has a solo catalog on his own. I don't get it, bro. I think a lot of times we hear the Andre 3000 features and we just get real sentimental about who he is, what he means to hip hop, and all this other stuff. But at the end of the day, he's not a solo artist because he doesn't have a solo catalog. He got features, and that's it. And he has The Love Below, which is still an Outkast album. So I don't know. So that's my 2 cents on it. I just feel like a lot of this shit that Complex has been doing with these lists, like Apple and Spotify, I don't want to see any more lists for the rest of this year. Because none of these companies know what the fuck they're talking about. They don't know what they're doing. A lot of them are really talking out of turn, and they don't have the right people in the room to figure this shit out. If you would have got some Atlanta rappers in there, not even Atlanta rappers, people who are from Atlanta, who are influencers, or people who are big time executives out of Atlanta, they could have helped put this list together. But clearly, it was very tone deaf in the room when it comes to a lot of the people that they placed in these spots on this list. And I honestly feel like if you're not gonna do it with people who are from the area, don't do it at all. Just don't do it. If you're not going to have a group of people in the room that's going to actually help you make these lists up, stop making the list. They can't do that, though, because Complex is a music website. Well, they cover music, and they want to make sure their hip-hop card is validated. I think it's all complete and total bullshit, and they need to switch this shit up. All right, so somebody else who hasn't been the smartest in the world when it comes to some of the things that they're stated is Michael Rubin. If you haven't seen Michael Rubin's statement on the Breakfast Club, here it is right now.
The thing I don't like about that is it doesn't bother me for me. It bothers me that it actually, when I see the narrative of a really good friend of mine like Meek, and people trying to, again, if he was gay, which there's not one gay bone in his body, who cares? Number one, if people want to be gay, it's 2024. Who the fuck cares? Okay. Number two, there's not a gay bone in his body. So why do people want to lie about that? Why do people want to change a narrative? Bet he made me to try to hurt him. That is the one thing I've learned about. Look, I'm just being blunt because it's me. It's the one thing I've learned about black culture that I don't like is that black hate on hate.
Speak on that more. I heard you say that earlier, and I wanted you to expound on that. You said you don't like to see black people tearing down other black people.
Yeah, it's horrible. It's horrible. I want to support look, you guys know me pretty well. Anything I can ever help with, I'm always there. I always want to be helpful. I feel lucky and fortunate to do what I do every day. To be whatever success I've had, I feel blessed to do that. And I want to give back in every way I can. In business and in charitable things, I'm always trying to be helpful. Why does someone want to bring somebody else down? Let's try to build everybody up. I'd be more excited if I'd be more excited to see one of my friends do something that's 99% less meaningful to me, but it would be really meaningful to them because I want them to do great. I want everyone around me to do great. I don't like watching. There's a little bit, and you tell me, you guys correct me if you think I'm wrong. I think there's a little bit of a black culture of it's black hate on hate. It's like that black judge that Meek had that hated on him and wanted to go extra hard on him. Okay. It's it's what people always say to me. It's like black hate on hate. So I think it's terrible. I think it's something that I think it's culturally wrong. And I'll probably get killed for saying this because,
I'm glad you're saying it openly. If this is the conversations that are being had.
I have it all the time with that.
I want to hear this.
Yeah. So I think it's wrong. I think why do you not want to build everyone up around you? Why do you not want everyone around you to do great? The best way for everyone to do great is to push each other up. Okay.
So it was a lot of discourse after that whole Michael Rubin Breakfast Club quote where he was speaking on, hip hop community and black on black hate and all this other stuff. Now, there were some people who actually felt like Michael Rubin had every right to say it because, he's Michael Rubin. He should be able to quote that because he hangs around so many rappers and he does the white party and all this other stuff. And there's a lot of us who feel like Michael Rubin should just kind of be quiet about black culture and what's going on in black culture. I've seen a few people just say we hate it because it's a white man telling black people the truth. I'm going to be honest with you. Michael Rubin doesn't come from what we come from. I don't agree with him making those statements because he ain't lived that life. He doesn't know. He just hears the stories about his friends that he invites over to his white parties and all this other stuff. Now, the discourse on social media was just going, the back and forth was just like, well, should he be able to say those types of things? Me personally, I feel like it's none of his business. Continue to be friends with rappers because that's been your fantasy for a very long time. You're a billionaire. You throw these rich parties, and you should continue to just kind of fall back and do whatever else you've been doing. It don't have anything to do with the race. It has a lot more to do with, has he lived through this type of stuff? Does he know anything about living hard like that? Does he know, has he been in neighborhoods and being able to understand black on black hate? Nah. You're a billionaire that hangs out with rappers, bro. That's what you do. You hang out with rappers, you throw parties, you're cool with the rappers. I don't think Michael Rubin has been through any kind of struggle. Now, I could be wrong, but I've only known him as being some type of billionaire. There's a few people who disagree with me. I know I was watching Wayno, and he said, Wayno said something. This is like, black people don't like what he said because of him being white. I completely disagree with Wayno and say black people don't like what he's saying because he don't understand how it is for real in those types of situations or coming from where we come from. That's why I don't like it. Now, the whole race thing, that's on whoever. I don't really give a damn about him being white, purple, whatever. I just know that he hasn't lived through the same things that I've gone through as a black person. I know he hasn't lived through a lot of things that a lot of these rappers that he hang out with, he hadn't been through that kind of stuff. So a few days later, Michael Rubin puts out this tweet. And here it goes. It says, I got a phone call from one of the people I have the most respect in the world. They told me while they appreciate my intention, it's not my place to speak on black culture. I get it. And I really appreciate the input. My intention was to say how important it is that we need to uplift each other, stop the hate on each other, and to push each other to win. And always root for each other's success. My bad, much love, and appreciate the feedback. The speculation on who sent that text has been going crazy on social media also. Some people feel like it's Jay-Z. Some people feel like it might have been Meek. Some people feel like it could be, well, those two are the only two I've really seen on social media, people kind of guessing. But Meek kind of came back and said some other stuff. He tweeted something else. So I personally feel like it's Jay. I think it's Jay-Z. I think Jay stood up here and was like, you can't speak on our culture. You need to fall back and chill out. He's the only he's the only rapper or representation of hip hop big enough and powerful enough to kind of say that to Michael Rubin so Michael Rubin can send out that tweet. And I'm not mad at it at all. If Jay did reach out to him and tell him, hey, you need to fall back, you need to chill the fuck out because this is not your struggle, I have to give Jay a whole lot of applause for that because a lot of us feel the same way, but we can't make that same opinion because people think we're mad because it's a race thing. And again, for some people it is, but for me, it ain't even a race thing. It's the fact that he ain't been through none of that shit. He doesn't understand black culture like that. Just because you got black friends doesn't necessarily mean you understand black culture. Just because rappers tell you their story doesn't necessarily mean you understand black culture. I'm sorry to say it, but that's the truth. Until you live that life, until you understand what people have actually been through, chill the fuck out and be quiet. I understand you want to uplift, but you know how you can uplift? How about giving back to those communities? How about starting programs to make sure shit actually is happening in a positive way in those communities? Give. You have plenty of money. Start programs. Help these people understand what it is to start a successful business. Give people grants. Do positive shit and shut the fuck up. Now, I don't know if he's going to speak on black culture anymore. I hope he doesn't. I kind of really feel like Michael Rubin was just a little bit out of place and he got a little bit too, what's the word? He got a little bit too ahead of himself when it came to that kind of shit. Man, we don't want that shit, bro. Like, speaking on black culture is we can't respect some of this. We can't respect it unless you've been through it. I think a lot of people give, and I hate, this is a shitty ass example, but Eminem gets a lot of respect because he grew up a poor white kid in Detroit that was trying to make it. That's a lot of our stories when it comes to us being successful, getting to a point of being a success in whatever we choose to do. A lot of us come from nothing, and we come from like the bottom. So I think Eminem gets a lot more respect because of those types of stories coming from him. He gets it. Michael Rubin ain't struggled, from my knowledge. Michael Rubin ain't struggled. He don't understand black problems. He just throws these parties and have really cool rapper friends. So I just think the discourse on social media made sense because, nigga, please stop. Stop with the bullshit, bro. Continue to host your white parties for these rappers and continue to just gotta be cool with your homeboys. But I'm not real big on people like that, or people who are not from the culture who understand the culture speaking on black culture. And I think a lot of people feel the same way I feel. All right, guys, that's all I got for y'all today, man. I got nothing else. I just had a couple of stories. I will get back to our regularly scheduled program on Wednesday. I just had to get everything moved to a new spot. As you can see, this is where I'm going to be recording from for a little while, and I'm going to give you guys as much content as I possibly can. Be on the lookout because there's going to be a lot coming out. If you are a part of the Patreon, we're going to do the Hip Hop Survival Guide. 2 episodes will be dropping this Thursday. The Foxy Brown episode, and should I tell you guys? I'm not going to tell you what the second episode is, but the Hip Hop Survival Guide will be back up and running this past Thursday for all the people who subscribe to the Patreon. If you haven't subscribed to the Patreon, that's all I need to tell you. Subscribe now so you can get extra content as far as like the Hip Hop Survival Guide. As a personal blogs, I'm going to start putting out there as well. Thank you guys for being a part of the society. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please take time out to join the society, be a part of something special, be a part of something that's growing every day. Subscribe to the BYNK Media channel, and you'll be getting content like this and other content. So that being said, guys, I appreciate you. Take care of yourself, and peace out.
Thank you for joining the STEM Society.